everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with my FantasyAthon TBR. Let's jump right into it. Alright, I have my challenges right here on the phone, and I want to just remind you that FantasyAthon will be a 10-day readathon, so it will be from April 5th to the 15th. The live show for this, because we will be doing one, will be April 7th at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, and it will be on Maddie from the Book Pushers channel, and I'm really excited about that one. Allie is having some technical difficulties with her webcam that we're hoping to have figured out by then. It is on the beginning end of the readathon because the second weekend of the readathon I'm actually in California, so I will be out there visiting Chelsea and family and going to Disneyland. I'm very excited about it. I will be bringing some books with me, but I wanted to be able to participate in the live show, so we're doing it on the earlier side, and we would love to have you come and join us and let us know what you're reading and what you're excited for the FantasyAthon. So definitely be sure to check that out on the 7th at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, Sunday, April 7th, Maddie's channel. We will be there talking about everything. So let's go over all of the challenges again and what I will personally be reading. The first one is to read a diverse fantasy. For that, I will be reading The Lost Coast by Amy Rose Capetta. This one is a queer book set in the Pacific Northwest, I believe in California, and this one follows 6 queer female witches when a boy appears, I think, or disappears. A dead boy with a red branch through his heart. I'm very excited about this one. This is an arc. This is a May 2019 release, so I need to get to it in April because I would like to read and review it. Plus, I just really want to read this book. You'll also notice that a lot of my TBR is very arc heavy because I have a lot of May releases that I have to read, and they happen to be fantasy, so we're going to squeeze them into FantasyAthon. So this is one that I will probably read on my vacation because it's going to be like an easier travel book, and I'm just so excited for this particular arc. I cannot wait to read it. So I will be reading that one for FantasyAthon for my diverse read. Then we have a debut or backlist author and fantasy book, and I will be reading Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, Maas, whatever. This one will also be my DNF. I have picked this up for Sequelathon and just am not in the mood for it. Sequelathon's going on right now, and that follows till the end of March. I'm just not going to read this. I'm about 90 pages in, and it's just not happening. So I'm going to attempt to read this for FantasyAthon, because I would like to continue with the series. I've failed at actually doing it. I don't know if I'm actually going to want to read this, and it does count for 2 of my challenges. We're going to see, because I'm not really feeling it. We're going to wait and see. But I'm going to put it on another TBR in the hopes that I actually pick it up and finish it. Then we're going to start a new series or read on in a series. And for that, I will be reading this giant beast. I will be reading Kingsbane, which is the Imperium Trilogy Book 2 by Claire Legrand. This is the sequel to Furyborn. This is another arc that comes out May 21st. I need to read this in April/early May, so I'm hoping to be able to get to this one. I do have a buddy read set up for this with Mel from Mel to the Any. This one was kindly sent to me by Rhiannon from Crescent Moon Reads. She had an extra book at her bookstore, and she very kindly sent this to me, so thank you so much, Rhiannon. And I'll be buddy reading this with Melanie before it comes out, hopefully during FantasyAthon, because I loved Furyborn, and I'm very excited to see where things go in Imperium, or in Kingsbane. This is a 587-page book, so it's not a tiny one, and Tower of Dawn is like 680-something. I'm not setting myself up for like a huge amount of success, but I'm going to try. Again, if I have to pick a chunker, it's going to be this bad boy, also because I have a buddy read and I'm excited for it. So that's going to be that book. Then we have a hype train fantasy. Again, that would probably count for Tower of Dawn, but I'm going to go ahead and use that for Kingsbane and or The Lost Coast. There's a lot of hype around both of these. I'm pretty stoked on both of them, so I'm going to multitask those. The next challenge is to read a book that you DNF, not because you didn't like it, but just because you weren't in the mood. Again, that's Tower of Dawn. Then we're going to read a fantasy novel in a genre or format that you don't typically read. For me, I'm going to go ahead and include Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. This is another arc that comes out in May that I need to read. I don't have an exact date on the arc itself, probably on Goodreads. This is an adult fantasy. I read a lot less adult fantasy lately just because it's really in-depth and it's a little bit harder for me to get through. But If I don't read this, I will probably read Chainbreaker, which is the second of a series in the Timekeeper series by Tara Sim. I have an audiobook for that, and that might be my alternative format while I'm traveling, is to read Chainbreaker on audiobook. Obviously, the ARC is not going to have an audiobook, so that's not going to be an option for me, but I may multitask. This will be my adult fantasy if I get to this one. If not, it will be Chainbreaker. This one is about a man who creates a set of twins, a girl and a boy. The girl is very gifted at math, the boy's very gifted at languages, and he's trying to have them ascend to godlike status, which in this world is something that can happen, but probably shouldn't. There's scheming, and it's like an alchemical kind of a story. I don't know a ton about it. Haven't really seen that many people reviewing it yet, but obviously it comes out soon and I would like to get to it. This one looks bigger than it actually is. This one's coming in at around 525 pages. Still a tome at over 500 pages, but it looks like it's going to be meatier than it actually is because this is like so much larger, like physically in size. So it, you know, but this one's actually longer as well. Anyway, that's what I'm planning on reading. Then we have Immerse Yourself in a Story, and this could go for any of the books that are currently on my TBR, but I am going to throw in a bonus book, and that is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is her sophomore novel following An Enchantment of Ravens, which I really, really loved. This one is about a library where grimoires are kept, and the grimoires come alive at night and rattle in their chains. It's about a wizard that the main character, Elizabeth, the library is sabotaged, and she's accused of treason and sent to face justice in the capital, and then she meets a sorcerer, Nathaniel Thorne. Together with his mysterious demonic servant, they become entangled in a centuries-old conspiracy that could see the great libraries go up in flames. I'm stoked for it. I'm here for magical libraries. I'm here for sorcerers and demons and like grimoires. Everything about this sounds like it is 1000% up my alley. Again, I really loved An Enchantment of Ravens, so I can't wait to read this. This is another May release. I don't have an exact May date on this yet. Yes, I do. May 14th. I want to get to this. I have a lot of ARCs. Like the majority of my TBR is 4 ARCs that come out in May. May is going to be an amazing, heavy fantasy month for releases, and I am super, super stoked on every single one of these. I want to get to them. Will they all happen during FantasyAthon? Probably not, but I am leaning towards the 2 of these being the ones that I travel with, and then my audiobooks, or maybe just this one and audiobooks, and then trying to read these while I'm home. I don't know. Honestly, Tower of Dawn will probably just go back up on my shelf, and I'll attempt it at some other point or when I can find an audiobook, because I'm just not feeling it, but I'm going to try. We're going to see. At the very least, I'd love to get to these books. Again, it's a longer readathon, but these are large books, so we're going to see how that all pans out. I have these ARCs. I committed myself to reading them prior to release date, and I actually just really, really, really want to read these. So that's going to be my FantasyAthon TBR. I hope you guys are as excited for it as I am. I cannot wait to dive into all of these books. It's going to be the most amazing way to start April. I legitimately am so pumped for all these books. I'm also really excited for my travel, although I do think it's going to probably put a damper on my reading time because I will be traveling to California with my niece, with Charlie, who you guys have seen here on the channel before. I will be hopefully doing a little bit of vlogging. I don't know how much because I will be with family and they don't always agree to that kind of stuff or want that. But I will be meeting up with Chelsea and Aldo for dinner, so I'm sure there'll be some vlogging there or at Disney. So stay tuned here and on Instagram. Make sure you're following me everywhere. Make sure you're following me on Goodreads and Twitter so that you can keep up with all of my reading as well. Social media links are always down below. That is going to be it for FantasyAthon TBR. I cannot wait to read with you guys. Let me know what you're going to be reading as well. And remember, a live show on the 7th, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST on Maddie's channel. And the dates are the 5th to the 15th. Let's get reading some fantasy, guys. That's it for now. If you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.